Section 7. Other types of vehicle. In this section, you'll learn about different types of vehicle, safety when driving towards or following other types of vehicle. Motorcycles. When you're driving towards or following another type of vehicle, such as a motorcycle or a lorry, you need to be aware of that vehicle's capabilities, and how they differ from those of your car. Windy weather has a big effect on motorcyclists. They can be blown into your path, so if you're overtaking a motorcyclist, allow extra room. If a motorcyclist in front of you is overtaking a high-sided vehicle, keep well back, as they could be blown off course. Be particularly aware of motorcyclists where there are side wind warning signs. Tip: side winds are likely to affect cyclists, motorcyclists, drivers towing caravans or trailers, drivers of high-sided vehicles more than car drivers. If you're following or overtaking, be aware that these vehicles might be blown off course, and give them extra room. Motorcyclists may swerve to avoid uneven or slippery surfaces, so if you're following a motorcyclist, allow plenty of space. Metal drain covers in wet weather are particularly hazardous for two-wheeled vehicles. See the Think Road Safety information about driving safely near motorcyclists. Large vehicles. Large vehicles can make it difficult for you to see the road ahead. Keep well back if you're following a large vehicle, especially if you're planning to overtake. If another vehicle fills the gap you've left, drop back further. This will improve your view of the road ahead. Overtaking a large vehicle is risky because it takes more time to overtake than a car. Keep well back until you can see that the road ahead is clear. This also helps the driver of the large vehicle to see you in their mirrors. Never begin to overtake unless you're sure that you can complete the maneuver safely. In wet weather, large vehicles throw up a lot of spray.
This can make it difficult for you to see, so drop back further until you can see clearly.
If the conditions make it difficult for you to be seen by other road users, use dipped headlights.
If visibility is reduced to less than 100 meters, 328 feet, you may use fog lights. Tip:
if you're driving downhill and a large vehicle coming uphill needs to move out to pass a parked car, slow down and give way if possible. It's much more difficult for large vehicles to stop and then start up again if they're going uphill. Stay well back and give large vehicles plenty of room as they approach or negotiate.
Road junctions.
Crossroads. Mini roundabouts. To get around a corner, long vehicles may need to move in the opposite direction to the one they're indicating.
If they want to turn left, they may indicate left but move over to the right before making the turn, and vice versa. If you're waiting to turn left from a minor road and a large vehicle is approaching from the right, think. It may seem as if there's time to turn, but there could be an overtaking vehicle hidden from view. Buses.
Bus drivers need to make frequent stops to pick up and set down passengers. If a bus pulls up at a bus stop, watch out for pedestrians who may get off and cross the road in front of or behind the bus. Be prepared to give way to a bus that's trying to move off from a bus stop, as long as it's safe to do so.
Trams. Some cities have trams.
Take extra care around them because they
are very quiet. Move quickly. Can't steer to avoid you.
In these cities there may be extra white light signals at some traffic lights, which are for tram drivers.
Powered vehicles used by disabled people.
Powered vehicles used by disabled people, such as wheelchairs and mobility scooters, have a maximum speed limit of 8 miles per hour, 12 kilometers per hour, when used on the road. Meeting the standards.
You must be able to look out for other road users and predict what they may do. Monitor and manage your own reactions to other road users. You must know and understand
The rules that apply to other road users and the positions they may select on the road as a result.
For example,
Drivers of large vehicles,
bus and coach drivers, cyclists,
motorcyclists.
Think about
What conditions could make a motorcyclist swerve unexpectedly?
when do you need to give large vehicles plenty of space? What should you watch out for when a bus has stopped at the side of the road?
What do you need to be aware of when driving in an area that has trams?
Things to discuss and practice with your instructor. These are just a few examples of what you could discuss and practice with your instructor.
Read more about other types of vehicle to come up with your own ideas.
Discuss with your instructor. How windy weather can affect the way motorcyclists ride. What can you do to allow for this?
The maximum speed of powered wheelchairs and how you should behave when you need to overtake one. How trams operate and what to look out for if you encounter a tram system.
Practice with your instructor.
Driving around an industrial estate, or somewhere you're likely to encounter large vehicles.
Overtaking large vehicles and noting how this differs from overtaking a car.
Driving in different weather conditions and making sure that you can be seen by other road users, for example in the rain, in the fog, etc. You're following a long vehicle approaching a crossroads. What should you do if the driver signals right but moves close to the left-hand curb?
Warn the driver about the wrong signal. Wait behind the long vehicle. Report the driver to the police. Overtake on the right-hand side.
When a long vehicle is going to turn right, it may need to keep close to the left-hand curb. This is to prevent the rear end of the trailer cutting the corner. You need to be aware of how long vehicles behave in such situations. Don't overtake the lorry, because it could turn as you're alongside. Stay behind and wait for it to turn.
You're following a large vehicle as it approaches a crossroads.
What should you do if the driver signals to turn left? Overtake if you can leave plenty of room. Overtake if there are no oncoming vehicles.
Wait for the driver to cancel their signal.
Wait for the vehicle to finish turning.
Hold back and wait until the vehicle has turned before proceeding. Don't overtake, because the vehicle turning left could hide another vehicle emerging from the same junction.
Which vehicles are least likely to be affected by side wind? Cyclists,
Motorcyclists,
high-sided vehicles,
cars.
Although cars are the least likely to be affected, side winds can take anyone by surprise. This is most likely to happen after overtaking a large vehicle, when passing gaps between hedges or buildings, and on exposed sections of road.
Why should drivers be more careful on roads where trams also operate?
because trams don't have a horn, because trams can't stop for cars,
Because trams don't have lights, because trams can't steer to avoid obstructions.
You should take extra care when you first encounter trams. You'll have to get used to dealing with a different traffic system. Be aware that trams can accelerate and travel very quickly, and they can't change direction to avoid obstructions.
What should you do if you want to overtake a long, slow-moving vehicle on a busy road? Follow it closely and keep moving out to see the road ahead. Flash your headlights for the oncoming traffic to give way.
Stay behind until the driver waves you past. Keep well back so that you get a good view of the road ahead.
When you're following a long vehicle, stay well back so that you can get a better view of the road ahead. The closer you get, the less you'll be able to see of the road. Be patient and don't take a gamble. Only overtake when you're certain that you can complete the maneuver safely.
You're following a long vehicle as it approaches a crossroads.
What should you do if it signals left but moves out to the right? Get closer in order to pass it quickly. Stay well back and give it room. Assume the signal is wrong and that it's turning right. Overtake it as it starts to slow down.
A long vehicle may need to swing out in the opposite direction as it approaches a turn, to allow the rear wheels to clear the curb. Don't try to filter through if you see a gap. As the lorry turns, the gap will close.
You're about to overtake a slow-moving motorcyclist.
Which sign would make you take special care?
In windy weather, watch out for motorcyclists and also cyclists, as they can be blown sideways into your path. When you pass them, leave plenty of room and check their position in your mirror before pulling back in.
You're waiting to turn right out of a minor road.
It's clear to the left but a lorry is coming from the right. Why should you wait, even if you have enough time to turn? Anything overtaking the lorry will be hidden from view. The lorry could suddenly speed up. The lorry might be slowing down. The load on the lorry might be unstable.
Large vehicles can hide other vehicles that are overtaking, especially motorcycles. You need to be aware of the possibility of hidden vehicles and not assume that it's safe to turn.
You're traveling behind a bus. What should you do if it pulls up at a bus stop? Accelerate past the bus. Look for pedestrians. Sound your horn. Pull in closely behind the bus.
People may be running to catch the bus, or passengers leaving the bus might wish to cross the road in front of the bus. Look out for them if you intend to go past it. Consider how many people are waiting to get on the bus. Check the queue if you can. The bus might move off straight away if no one is waiting to get on.
What should you do if you overtake a cyclist when it's very windy?
Overtake very slowly. Keep close as you pass. Sound your horn repeatedly.
Allow extra room.
Cyclists and motorcyclists are very vulnerable in high winds. They can easily be blown well off course and veer into your path. Always allow plenty of room when overtaking them. Passing too close could cause a draft and unbalance the rider.
You're following a lorry on a wet road. What should you do when spray makes it difficult to see the road ahead? Drop back until you can see better. Put your headlights on full beam. Keep close to the lorry, away from the spray. Speed up and overtake quickly.
Large vehicles can throw up a lot of spray when it's wet. This makes it difficult for drivers behind to see the road ahead. You'll be able to see more by dropping back further, out of the spray. This will also increase your separation distance, giving you more room to stop if you have to.
What should you do when you're approaching a bus that's signaling to move away from a bus stop?
Get past before it moves. Allow it to pull away, if it's safe to do so.
Flash your headlights as you approach. Signal left and wave the bus on.
Try to give way to buses if you can do so safely, especially when the driver signals to pull away from a bus stop. Look out for people getting off the bus or running to catch it, because they may cross the road without looking. Don't accelerate to get past the bus, and don't flash your lights, as this could mislead other road users.
You're driving in heavy traffic on a wet road.
Which lights should you use if there's a lot of surface spray?
Main beam headlights, side lights only.
Rear fog lights if visibility is more than 100 meters, 328 feet. Dipped headlights.
You must make sure that other road users can see you, but you don't want to dazzle them. Use your dipped headlights during the day if visibility is poor. If visibility falls below 100 meters, 328 feet, you may use your rear fog lights, but don't forget to turn them off when the visibility improves.
What should you do as you approach this lorry?
Slow down and be prepared to wait. Make the lorry wait for you. Flash your lights at the lorry. Move to the right-hand side of the road.
When turning, long vehicles need much more room on the road than other vehicles. At junctions, they may take up the whole of the road space, so be patient and allow them the room they need.
Why is it more difficult to overtake a large vehicle than a car?
It will take longer to overtake a large vehicle.
A large vehicle will be fitted with a speed limiter.
A large vehicle will have air brakes. It will take longer for a large vehicle to accelerate.
Depending on relative speed, it will usually take you longer to pass a lorry than other vehicles. Hazards to watch for include oncoming traffic, junctions ahead, bends or dips that could restrict your view, and signs or road markings that prohibit overtaking. Make sure you can see that it's safe to complete the maneuver before you start to overtake.
You're driving on a single carriageway road.
Why should you keep well back while you're following a large vehicle? To give yourself acceleration space if you decide to overtake.
To get the best view of the road ahead. To leave a gap in case the vehicle stops and rolls back.
To offer other drivers a safe gap if they want to overtake you.
When following a large vehicle, keep well back. If you're too close, you won't be able to see the road ahead and the driver of the long vehicle might not be able to see you in their mirrors.
You're leaving a safe gap as you follow a large vehicle. What should you do if a car moves into this gap? Sound your horn. Drop back further. Flash your headlights. Start to overtake.
Sometimes your separation distance is shortened by a driver moving into the gap you've allowed. When this happens, react positively, stay calm and drop further back to re-establish a safe following distance.
You're towing a caravan. Which is the safest type of rear view mirror to use? Interior wide-angle mirror, extended arm side mirrors, ordinary door mirrors, ordinary interior mirror.
Towing a large trailer or caravan can greatly reduce your view of the road behind. You may need to fit extended arm side mirrors so that you can see clearly behind and down both sides of the caravan or trailer.
You're approaching a mini roundabout.
What should you do if a long vehicle in front signals left but positions over to the right?
Sound your horn. Overtake on the left. Follow the same course as the lorry. Keep well back.
At mini roundabouts, there isn't much room for a long vehicle to maneuver. It will have to swing out wide so that it can complete the turn safely. Keep well back and don't try to move up alongside it.
What should you do if there's a bus at a bus stop ahead of you? Flash your lights to warn the driver of your presence. Continue at the same speed but sound your horn as a warning. Watch carefully for the sudden appearance of pedestrians. Pass the bus as quickly as you possibly can.
As you approach, look out for any signal the driver might make. If you pass the vehicle, watch out for pedestrians attempting to cross the road from behind the bus. They'll be hidden from view until the last moment.
What should you be prepared to do in this situation?
Sound your horn and continue. Slow down and give way. Report the driver to the police. Squeeze through the gap.
Sometimes, large vehicles may need more space than other road users. If a vehicle needs more time and space to turn, be prepared to stop and wait.
It's very windy.
What should you do if you're behind a motorcyclist who's overtaking a high-sided vehicle?
Overtake the motorcyclist immediately. Keep well back. Stay level with the motorcyclist.
Keep close to the motorcyclist.
Windy weather affects motorcyclists more than other vehicles. In windy conditions, high-sided vehicles cause air turbulence. You should keep well back, as the motorcyclist could be blown off course.
You're driving in heavy traffic on a wet road.
Which lights should you use if there's a lot of surface spray?
Main beam headlights, side lights only. You're towing a caravan. Which is You're driving in heavy traffic on a wet road.
Which lights should you use if there's a lot of surface spray?
Main beam headlights, side lights only.
Rear fog lights if visibility is more than 100 meters, 328 feet. Dipped headlights.
You must make sure
You're towing a caravan. Which is the safest type of rear view mirror to use?
towing a large trailer